Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our special Veterans Day program. My name is Charlie Orndorff.
And I'm Jackson Allen. Today we're here to honor all the brave men and women who have served in the military. Please stand for the posting of the colors, followed by the playing of our national anthem by the West Greene Marching Band, who will then lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Today it is indeed our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifices. At this time, we welcome 4th grade as they sing Thank a Vet.
about the veterans in our lives, your family members, neighbors, or friends. Many of you may have friends or family who have served in the past or are currently serving in the armed forces. Today, we are honored to have many veterans among us. The 5th grade class will now perform the Armed Forces Medley. When your branch is announced, please stand if you're able to be recognized. Army.
Armistice Day was first observed on November 11th, 1919, to mark the end of World War I at 11 a.m. on the 11th month On the 11th day, the fighting stopped. It was a time to remember those who fought and sacrificed for our freedom. There are countless veterans who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Fifth grade will share a poem entitled Taps that illustrates the significance of this patriotism.
I saw a burial with a bugler playing taps. I turned to my father. What happened? I asked.
He clutched my hand, and with a quiver in his voice, he began to explain, and his eyes became moist.
My son, he said, this is rather difficult for me. For an old veteran like myself, this is tough to see.
In that coffin lies a generous, patriotic warrior and honest to God, an American soldier.
I appreciate that soldier and the service he gave, and I honor his sacrifices he's led in his grave. He was honorable, selfless, courageous, and bold. Please remember him, son, as you grow old.
The value of his service I must explain. If not, remember it will be lost in vain.
As a nation, we're nothing without soldiers like him, and failing to remember would be a terrible sin.
I listened to those. As my father spoke, it seemed as if his heart were broke.
Suddenly remembered when he went to war, and when he returned, I thought nothing more.
I never asked about why he walked with a limp, and I didn't care about why he was sick.
I was too busy enjoying the life that I had to realize I had it because of Dad.
I finally understood what my dad was about, and it hurt so bad I cried out loud.
He sacrificed so much so I could be free, and his battle scars were suffered from me.
It was my father's spirit that spoke to me that day. Thank God I finally understood what he had to say.
I saluted his coffin as he laid in to rest and thought about all the medals pinned on his chest.
That day I'm soon I will always regret, and I pledge that day to never again forget.
I'm proud that my dad was a patriotic warrior. I'm honored to be the child of an American soldier.
In 1994, after World War II and the Korean War, Congress changed the name to Veterans Day. It became a day to honor all veterans, not just those who served in one specific war.
Veterans Day is observed on November 11th each year. It's a chance for us to express our gratitude to all the service members who have defended our country.
Many people celebrate by attending parades, visiting memorials, or spending time with veterans. Schools often hold programs like ours to educate and honor those who served.
It's important to remember that veterans come from all walks of life. Some served for just a few years, while others dedicated their entire careers to the military.
That's true. Every veteran has their own story and experiences. Some of them face incredible challenges, while others work behind the scenes to keep us safe. You have probably spoken to more veterans than you realize. Fourth grade will now share the poem, I Am a Veteran, to remind us that veterans serve vital roles in our communities.
You may not know me the first time we meet. I'm just another you see on the street. But I'm the reason you walk and breathe free. I am the reason for your liberty.
I am a veteran.
I work at the local factory all day. I own a restaurant just down the way. I sell you insurance. I start your IV. I have the best looking grandkids you'll ever see.
I'm your grocer. I'm your banker. I'm your child school teacher. I'm your plumber. I'm your barber. I'm your family's preacher.
Well, there's part of me you don't know very well. Just listen, I've got a story to tell.
I am a veteran.
I joined the service while still in my teens. I traded my prom dress for camouflage greens. I'm not the first in my family to do something like this. I followed my father like he followed his. Defending my fears and hiding my doubt, I married a sweetheart before I shipped out. I missed Christmas, then Easter, then the birth of my son, but I knew I was doing what had to be done.
I served on the battlefront, I served on the base, I bound up the wounded and begged for God's grace. I gave orders to fire, I followed commands, I marched into conflict in far distant lands.
In the jungle, the desert, on mountains and shores, in bunkers and tents and dank earthen floors, while I fought on the ground, in the air, on the sea, my family and friends were home praying for me.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave, I faced the demons in the foxhole and caves. Then one dreaded day, without drummer or fife, I lost an arm, my buddy lost his life.
I came home and moved on, but forever was changed. The perils of war in my memory remained. I don't say much, I don't feel like I can, but I left home a child and came home a man.
There are thousands like me, thousands more, who are gone, but their legacy lives as time marches on. White crosses and rows and names carved in Q remind us of what these brave souls had to do.
I'm a part of a fellowship and a strong and mighty brand of each man and each woman who has served this great land. And when old glory waves, I stand proud, I stand tall. I helped keep her flying over you and over all.
Speaking of keeping us safe, Commissioner Jared Greene is here today as our featured speaker to call importance to the observance of Veterans Day.
Well, good morning, West Greene, veterans, family, and friends. I'm honored to be able to speak this morning at such an event where there are much more qualified individuals who could be speaking here today. The young ones, of course, here know me as Officer Ed Greene and know me as someone who would stand strong and protect the school and would probably think that I have never cried. And to a point, they'd be right. Although physical pains throughout my years, I would barely shed a tear. But I ask that you wouldn't think less of me today as I speak of something that is near and dear to my heart and provokes an emotional response. So if you see a glisten in my eye, know it's for thankfulness of the veterans. Because this is not just another day. It is set aside to thank our veterans. You see, on Memorial Day, we remember those who laid down their lives for the cause of freedom. Today, on Veterans Day, we thank those who gave of themselves in service to our country. It is one of the most selfless acts that an American can make, to swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States, to leave the comfort of their homes, their families, their friends, their way of life, to give of themselves in order to maintain freedom. You see, I believe we are the greatest country in the world. And for the young ones here today, you might not quite understand what I'm about to say, but one day I hope you fully grasp it. You see, throughout history, America has been targeted for attack because we are the brightest beacon of freedom and opportunity in the world. And because of our veterans, that light will forever shine. We know that evil is present in the world, and it only seeks to steal, kill, and destroy. For that reason, we must raise up a strong military of young men and young women who are willing to answer the call to shine the beacon for freedom and protect our very way of life. Today, I reflect on our national anthem, what we just heard, and what the kids hear every morning through the halls of this school, the lyrics of which are unlike any other anthem in the entire world. You see, other nations will sing their anthems talking about power, about military prowess. Our national anthem is a question. A simple question that says, does our flag still fly o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Today, I'm proud to say it does because of our veterans. It all started in 1776 and the Revolutionary War, where our forefathers decided that as free men and women in America, they were going to break away from the tyranny of England, to set themselves apart and assert a Declaration of Independence, saying, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I'm sure that sounds familiar, and it is. And somehow we take it for granted. But in that day, and still now, it is a bold statement that has resonated through the annals of history. It asserts that our freedoms, our liberties, and our rights does not given by the government. It was not given by a king. It is not given by our Congress, nor our president. It is asserted that our rights are endowed by our Creator God, and nothing and no one can take that away. Since that time, countless millions have served in our armed forces. And as of 2023, there were 22 million living veterans in the United States. I think of my grandfather, who on December 7th, 1941, listened on a radio of the reports detailing the attack of Pearl Harbor. He heard President Franklin Delano Roosevelt address the nation, saying that it was a date that was going to live in infamy. As a young man living in a small central Pennsylvania town, not much larger than Rogersville, and working in a glass factory, he dropped everything he knew to defend our nation. To leave that small town he had never been out of, travel halfway across the planet to give many years of service before returning back home. Similarly, I think of the young men and women who heard President George W. Bush address the nation after the attacks on 9/11, saying terrorist attacks can shake the foundation of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shattered steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. Once again, there was a groundswell of proud young Americans who answered the call as U.S. Congress at the time voted unanimously to stand up and defend our Union. For their selfless acts, we owe them gratitude. You have heard the phrase, freedom isn't free, because the protection of our freedom costs our veterans dearly. Not just years of their lives away from home, but also the mental toll that these conflicts bring, the stress and strain associated with returning back to civilian life, and no one truly understanding what they went through. So I ask today that you thank a veteran. Thank them for their service, their selflessness, their bravery, their mental fortitude, and their unwavering steadfastness to protect fellow Americans. I reflect on this day and Veterans Day back to my grandfather, who passed away when I was only 12. At that age, I didn't truly understand what he sacrificed fighting in World War II. And because I truly didn't understand what he had done, I never told him thank you. It is such a simple gesture that almost seems not enough. But today, veterans, we wholeheartedly thank you for your service. May God bless you and keep you and hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you.
Thanks for your service, Mr. Ed Greene, and thank you for the ways in which you continue to serve your community.
As Americans, we are united by our shared ideals. The American flag is a powerful symbol of freedom and bravery. It has 13 stripes that represent the original 13 colonies and 50 stars that represent each state.
When the flag is raised, it symbolizes our unity and respect for the sacrifices made by our veterans. When we see the flag, we are reminded of the values our country stands for: liberty, justice, and courage.
On Veterans Day, we often display the flag proudly to show our appreciation for those who have served. It's a way to honor their dedication and bravery. At this time, 6th grade will present a poem about the Stars and Stripes.
This piece of cloth. The morning song of a vibrant city is interrupted by the scream of jet engines as an off-course hijacked jet airliner smashes into a tower office building.
Fire and smoke stain the skyline, and then the unbelievable is repeated, another jet diving into the Twin Tower.
There's no place to go, people jumping, holding hands, the roar of crashing concrete and twisting steel. And at the top of the tower, a piece of cloth is ripped from its standard and falls slowly.
It now lies in the dust and debris. Red and white stripes begin to smolder. The field of blue curls into flame. White stars turn to black ash.
This is not just any piece of cloth that's burning. This is the freedom banner of America. This is the flag of the United States.
But hear this. This piece of cloth has faced the enemy before. This flag is no stranger to battle.
No, it's first heard the roar of the cannon and musket at Concord and the Lexington and Valley Forge.
It flew from Saddle Mount as Teddy Roosevelt led the Rough Riders up San Juan Hill.
Civil War swept across the nation, but Old Glory kept flying at Gettysburg, Appomattox, and Richmond.
World War I, from the forests of the Argonne to the white crosses of Flanders Field, still flying.
World War II, from Pearl Harbor to Normandy to an island in the South Pacific called Iwo Jima, where some tired, battle-weary Marines lifted that flag so that the rest of the world would know that Americans will be free.
At the 38th parallel in Korea, in the jungles and rice paddies of Vietnam, from Desert Storm to the Trade Center towers in New York City, the cost has been high, but the price has been met.
from the caves of Afghanistan to the deserts of Iraq, from Ground Zero to the Pentagon to a farm field in Pennsylvania.
Let every terrorist know that you can tear it down, rip it to pieces, you can trample it, and you can burn it.
But you can't destroy the faith and the strength and the purpose of the people that piece of cloth represents.
So next time you see it, don't be ashamed if a tear comes to your eye or if your heart beats a little faster.
Stand up, stand tall, say it loud. We are one nation under God.
At this time, we would like to observe a moment of silence to honor all the veterans, especially those who have served, who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Our sixth grade class will then sing the song on Veterans Day. Thank you.
On Veterans Day, we would like to show our appreciation for the veterans who are an integral part of the West Greene community. Please take a moment to reflect as we honor those who have served. Thank you all for joining us today. Let's continue to remember and honor our veterans, not just on Veterans Day, but every day.
We hope you enjoyed our program and learned something about the importance of Veterans Day.
Have a great day, everyone, and remember to thank a veteran.
On behalf of Mrs. False, who put together that wonderful slide presentation, myself and all of the faculty here at West Greene, we thank you for your service. We thank you for being with us today, and we hope that you have a happy Veterans Day. Thank you.